Irene with SaugaTalks. Hello, everyone. I speak weekly with fascinating people in tech. And today I am so excited to be here with Lee Coulter. Lee, you are a CEO of transformAI, company that builds solution around automation, RPA, right? Can you talk a little bit about how did you get there? Why AI in your life? Why RPA?
So I guess, I'll synopsize kind of some of my earlier career, but I ran global IT for large organizations for almost 10 years. And I've been in this world of business process transformation on a mega scale for more than 20 years. So with a kind of an orientation toward paying attention to enabling technologies, I was in a unique position to make a set of decisions which allowed my organization at the time to become an early adopter of this thing nobody had ever heard of called RPA. And it's a transformational technology. And of course, now everything gets labeled with that particular moniker, which in my role as the chair of the IEEE working group chair on standards in intelligent process automation, I've done my very best to give everybody nomenclature that is more descriptive, but it seems that the popular media still likes to say everything is RPA. Well, it's not, so we'll start there. But what I began to see, Irene, was as the speed of maturation of new technologies, because we are sitting somewhere on the sixth and seventh wave of innovation as humankind. And in fact, they're both nearly vertical curves. If you were to look at them in a linear fashion, if you look at them in an exponential fashion, you can see why things are changing so rapidly. Here's a great case in point. These automation technologies, they were kind of born in 2002 to 5. They really just kind of struggled to get their feet under them. About 2012, all of a sudden, it's here. By 2015, Forbes and Fortune are publishing stuff about them. Gartner finally caught up, and the associated technological fields here, and this is really when we talk about Industry 5.0. It's really about convergence. So Industry 4.0, you can kind of think is, right, we had the Industrial Revolution, the Information Age, Computer Age, and now it's the age of automation, and then we'll have this age of convergence. Trying to separate 4 and 5 may be really difficult to do, unless you're sitting 30 years into the future looking at historical data. But as we sit here today, I use this example. At first, we had a telephone, and big companies could have a conference room with a telephone in it that had a dedicated phone number to another conference room in another location, right? And then, in the 80s, we got cell phones. I had my first cell phone in 1988, I think. And all of a sudden, mobility is transformed. And then, of course, we have the handheld device, and this is where convergence comes in. So doing what we're doing right here, right now, from my home office, from your home office, was technologically not possible to do without an enormous investment just 3 years ago. And now, I could literally be doing this by taping my phone to the wall, right? I mean, and the network bandwidth required and all of the associated technologies, the quality of the camera, the amount of memory in a device, so many different things. And that's just one piece of technology that's contributing to the changing world of workforce and workplace and workspace. And we'll come back to that in a second, Irene. Your question was where I was headed was, as we were looking at the early days of the automation technologies, it was really easy to see that every place that we needed to leave a piece of automation to go ask a human, what should we do, so that we can go back into the automation and keep going, and then go talk to a human. Some people call this human in the loop. Some people would call it exception management. Regardless of that, it didn't take a rocket scientist to be able to determine that it wouldn't be very long before machine learning models would put the machines in control of being able to make these decisions on what's the best path forward in a given workflow more reliably and with higher confidence and higher precision and accuracy than humans would be able to make them. And so you begin to take this core of task automation, which is software platform independent, and you now evolve from an unattended automation capability and you add attended automation, which does allow for human in the loop. Then you begin to add machine learning. And then, and again, these are recent developments. People don't realize how recent these developments are. The ability for me to select one of 8 or 9 different machine vision platforms. Now, these are platforms that their respective providers, the makers of these platforms, spent hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to develop. And we can rent them in the cloud. There's another cloud technology, right? It matured, and all of a sudden, everything's available as a service. So now I can take machine language, natural language processing, natural language generation, machine vision, and even it wouldn't surprise me if our talk right here was automatically subtitled for publishing in other language areas. So this has been very fascinating to me, and I've always had an eye toward the future. And so in 2015, 16, I started talking to people about, wow, wait till you see what's coming. And I've been a member of Abundance 360. So if you're familiar with the Singularity University and Peter Diamandis and Ray Kurzweil, your readers or your watchers can take a look at that later. But so I was really schooled, I've been a member for 4 or 5 years, and I was really schooled in how to listen for and watch for what was about to emerge through the maturation curve as a new disruptive technology. And so we're sitting here and poised at a point in time which is just unique in human history in terms of the speed of technological innovation. And so we have this, and again, I'm going to come back to this notion that Industry 5.0 is convergence, right? So I just gave this example of, well, we have big data, storage is virtually free, we have cloud computing platforms, and we can deliver highly sophisticated. So an instance of Watson, IBM Watson, costs $250 to $400 million if you want a copy of Watson, right? You can also rent Watson to do very specific things for 10 millionth of a penny per item, like per word or per pixel, and so by itself, cloud technology, big data technology, telecommunications technology, all of those matured along their own line, and then they began to converge, and all of a sudden, I'm now able to automate using incredibly sophisticated tools and change the nature of the workplace.